I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. A lot of y'all don't know what the hell y'all are talking about, especially on this social media joint. This shit right here. A lot of y'all don't know what the fuck y'all are saying, and it's at first, it was pretty funny to me. As time went on, it's just like kind of gets redundant and repetitive, seeing the same shit over and over and over again, and people having so much pride, egocentric pride, to stand behind some of the things that they're saying without any comprehension, or let's just say minimal comprehension, you know, because if we want to get really simplistic with things, when it comes to the science or the understanding of comprehension, I've actually never heard anyone say something like this. That's funny. When it comes to the comprehension of comprehension, let's start really, really basic here. You want to get to the fundamentals of everything that you would want to speak about. You want to get down to the roots, to the basics, and everything in the universe, from my perception, from what I can see, is simplex, which just means that everything starts off simple and then it can become more complex. So you can infinitely dive into the complexities of any topic. That's what I'm trying to say. But if you're not able to explain something to a 7-year-old, I'm gonna say 7 because the first 0 through 7, according to the modern science that we see on the internet, they're talking about that's the point where the subconscious psychology is affected the most, where children are still in their theta brainwave state, or they have more theta brainwaves than we typically would if you're not deeply into meditation all the time. So that's just a lot more imagination, a lot more creativity in the youth, and that starts to pivot toward the alpha and other brainwaves, beta brainwaves, as they go beyond the age 7. So I'm gonna say, if you can't explain something to a 7-year-old to where they would be able to at least have half of the comprehension of what you're saying, I would honestly say at least 90%. To be honest, like if you can't explain something to a 7-year-old, it's because you don't comprehend it fully. Because any concept that I have that I want to bring across, I would be able to explain it to somebody who is still in elementary school, and that's because I understand the elementals of what's making up whatever it is that I choose to speak on. So the thing here is, there's a lot of people on here, and this is fine, it don't bother me. Y'all do what y'all do. You gonna go through it, you gonna figure out your growth, you gonna excel in whatever you're doing. Wish y'all the best. But the thing here is, there's a lot of people that will see some information on the internet and they're quick to run with it. Y'all really quick to run with it just because it looks good, just because it resonates with what you think, with what you would desire, what you would want to know, and what you would want to stand on, what you would want to believe, and also what you would want other people to believe. So, I could give an example. If we want to get more conscious, I would say, like for my audience, just because a lot of the people that follow me, they're into, I would honestly say New Age spirituality. A lot of people would probably debate with me on that and would say like, no, this is actually a great example right here. They say, no, I'm tapping into source. I'm tapping into the universe. I'm gonna just start with source, because I hear this one very often, very, very often. That people will gain some information from the internet from somebody that they look up to, or they'll gain the information from somebody who they don't even know, never seen, whether it's a website, it's social media, YouTube video, whatever it may be. People will pull off some information from there, memorize it, get it ingrained in their being, but not fully understand it, and then they'll regurgitate it. They'll regurgitate this information and have so much, once again, it'll have so much egocentric pride behind it to where they won't even accredit the person where it's coming from. And they'll say, I got this information from source. Now, how do we know about source? How do you know about the word source? Where does source come from? What does source look like? Who is source? What is source? So if we go deeper, we may say, well, the source of what? And we may say that's the source of the universe, the source of all things. Let's just say we're talking about that source. And what is that source? If you want to look into the science of magnetism, which I would proclaim that would be the study of nature itself, of all things, you would find out that the source is inertia. That would be the ether, which is nothingness. That would be the glory of nothingness. I'm just messing with y'all on that one. But that's my point here. So if you're saying you're getting your information from source, and the source of all things is nothingness, there's other terms people may use. They may say, everything that is light that we have the ability to see comes from darkness. They may say nothing is a space for everything. There's a lot of different, sayings that people have. But if we're saying that source is nothing, then you're literally just saying that you pulled that information out of your asshole. You pulled that information out your ass, yo. If you're saying that source is nothingness. And that's okay, But if we want to be authentic here and we want to be real about this stuff and genuine, sincere, we want to actually be integral about the things that we're saying, let's just give credit where it's due. It's okay. It's okay to say, yo, I got this information from a book. I got this information from a friend of mine. I got this information from somebody who I think is cool on social media. I got this information from a website, whatever it may be, like, it's okay. It's okay. We like to demonize getting information from places. Why do we do that, I mean, I know why we do that, but it's just a question. So y'all who are watching me can self-reflect and just see that really don't nobody know nothing, me included. Even so let me backtrack a little bit on this one. This is how great this gets when you actually analyze some of this stuff. So we're talking about source, and we're saying that the source of all things here is inertia, stillness, darkness, nothingness. That's what holds a space for everything that is light that we're able to see, touch, feel, extrasensory perception, whatever it may be. You know, the source of all these things is nothingness. So anyone who says that they're channeling source, you're saying that you're pulling shit out of your ass, because you're saying that you're channeling nothingness, stillness, darkness. And at that point, everything that you would be saying would be silence, because that's what the void is. Now, what I would like to say, as far as like what I would perceive people are saying when they say, you know, I got this information from source, I would say that people are unknowingly saying source, but really they're talking about the Akashic Records. And since the Akashic Records is Libra, or the library for all of the past, present, and future knowledges and wisdoms, it's just I would say maybe galactical and maybe universal, but I'm gonna say intergalactical library for all the experiences that we've had in the past with our ancestors, and all the experiences that we're having now, and the experiences to come. And people get tapped into that. I've personally witnessed people that channel information. They can tap into that. And, you know, it's a genetic gift. It's not really something that you go and get, you know. I mean, there are some practices that you can do that will draw you closer to your genetic gifts, to activating the telomeres in your DNA to be able to channel certain information that you didn't have to go look for. But that's actually very, very rare. There's, I would say, probably 0.01% of the people on this whole, whatever you want to call this realm, that actually are consciously channeling the Akashic Records. You know, there's a lot of people, probably majority of people who have came online, who have some sort of awareness, you know, of at least decalcifying their pineal gland. That's another one that I could go deeper into as well. But, you know, there's some people like that they channel the Akashic Records unconsciously, like they're just not aware of what they're channeling and where it's coming from and what they're doing. You know, that's kind of the people I'm addressing, to be honest. It's those people, and then also the people that aren't channeling at all, that believe that they are, or tell themselves that they are so they could tell other people, just so they can hold on to their egocentric pride. So I've also personally had experiences where I've channeled information, and I started talking about certain things where I didn't even know it existed. Like, I would then go and look it up, and then would find out that what I was talking about was something that somebody has already, you know, put on the internet for information. So I think that's pretty interesting. You know, it has came to me, and, you know, I've had premonitions through meditations and through, you know, just awareness in general. This really isn't about me. This is about all the people on here that are getting information from the web, from their friends, you know, from a source that got their information from another source, and have enough confidence and pride to claim it as information that they channeled. You know, and if it's something that you channeled, you would understand the elementals, the fundamentals, the basics of what you're channeling. So you'd be able to explain that to a 7-year-old, it would be very, very easy for you to start from the simple and then go into the complexities of whatever topic that may be. So this here is just for more awareness that, you know, there's a lot of things that we talk about that we honestly don't really know what we're saying. Like, we're just getting all this shit from the internet, getting all this shit from other people that got their shit from the internet possibly, or from their, you know, predecessors, whatever it may be. And we choose to hold on to this stuff, and it's all just beliefs because we believe that it's true. So we go and speak about these things to other people, and, you know, it's just incomplete. That's all I'm trying to say, is like, if you don't have the full understanding, it's incomplete, and that's all right. There's plenty of time to grow, to gain more understanding, to decondition, to remove a lot of programs that you gave yourself through other people and other sources. There's plenty of time. And that's another program that, you know, I could unravel a little bit as well. You know, but I'll probably talk about that more in other videos, or maybe some Facebook posts, maybe some threads, that type of deal. But it's the death programs. You know, people love to entertain injury, food that don't benefit them, diseases, and death. And, you know, there's a lot of root causes. We could say the fear of the unknown. We could say the fear of missing out. I've already went into that in another video, actually. But the death programs, they're literally killer. Like, you know how people be like, yo, that shit killing me. Like, the death programs that y'all have are literally killing y'all. You know, just the thought that someday you may die, to me, that's insane. You know, but I've also had those thoughts back then. You know, no kidding, I've attempted suicide way back then. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I understand where people are coming from, but to give a little bit more game, a little bit more awareness here, you're holding on to things that do not benefit you. Why would you have fear of death? That's like having fear of tomorrow, literally. Not saying that you're gonna die tomorrow, but it's just like, you don't know what tomorrow holds. I don't even know what later on today holds. I don't know. I could turn this off and something crazy could happen. You know, I don't know what will ever happen. But I don't fear that, because that just doesn't make sense. Like, I may literally just carry on throughout my day and have a marvelous, beautiful day, and be chilling, blissful throughout the whole day. Or I could sit here and have thoughts about me potentially dying someday as an existential crisis that's internally going on in my subconscious. And that's actually majority of people. Majority of people are going through an existential crisis. And, you know, it's for many reasons. So at the same time, like, I do get why people cling on to their death programs. But to give a little bit more awareness here, it's just the understanding of infinite potential. You know, like that old saying they used to hear, like, anything's possible. You can potentially do anything. I see that all the time too, and then I see people talking about mortality and talking about death. It's like, how does that make sense? Like, is that what you really want? Because if I lived for the next 1,000 years, majority of people would be gone. And what does that mean? Does that mean this is my world now? It could mean a lot of things, but even 1,000 years looks small to me now. Like my perception of time has just shifted so much to where it's like, I'm literally reverse. I won't say I'm reversing my age, but I can definitely say I stopped time for my aging clock. And that's because I don't really buy into death programs anymore. Like, all I could see for my imagination of where my life is going is immortality. I mean, I know people that, could see themselves living 200-300 years, see themselves living 400 years. And that's cool. I mean, you can get a lot accomplished in that time. You can learn a lot of things. You can experience a lot in that time. For me, like, that's a little bit of time, and not out of scarcity. Like, I don't fear a little bit of time. Like, I honestly am not attached to being here at all. So it's like, it's not like a fear of, oh shit, I'm gonna run out of time, so I need to claim immortality. There's a lot of people that do that too. But it's just creativity. You gotta have creative stories in your mind. I'd rather have the story and imagination in my mind of immortality, of me potentially being here for the next quadrillion, infinite tillion years, and being able to consciously leave my body if I may will. That sounds like a pretty fun story to me. There's a lot of things I'd be able to do in all that time. There's a lot of people I'd be able to help. There's a lot of love I'd be able to spread and be able to share. There's a lot of places I'd be able to conquer. I mean, does that sound bad to y'all? You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, like, it just makes sense to be immortal. Like, it feels like my natural state. Like, it doesn't really make sense to, like, envision myself dying. Like, because it's like I'm not doing anything to die, really. It's like, for what? You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's a conversation I could go way deeper into. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not gonna get too deep into that on here. This was just for the purpose of, like, awareness of where you're getting your information from, because there's just a lot of information that we get that we're getting from other places, and we don't really know the source of them. Like, there's actually a lot of CIA, M16, NSA, KGB. There's a lot of FBI, a lot of these agents out here. It probably goes way beyond what I even know the agent scope is, to be honest. But there's a lot of agents out here that put out information for the New Age spirituality movement, and they get y'all talking about things that y'all just don't know of, and it's another indoctrination. Don't even make me go into the school system. Don't even make me go into religion. Don't even make me go into the institutions that back everything. You know what I'm talking about here, that UPU. If you know what I'm saying, the UPU, a Universal Postal Union that backs every banking system in the whole entire grid, overseas and in the United States, North America, all the Americas. Because we also know, the United States is just 10 square miles. Washington, D.C. It's just a District of Columbia, and it's barely that because it's not really even a reality. Like, it's a corporate entity, so it's fictional. The people are saying, "Oh yeah, I live in the United States." Like, nigga, no, you don't. You don't even know where you live, and that's another thing when it comes to um when it comes to what we call Earth. What the fuck is Earth? There's people out here saying that it's a globe. There's people out here saying that it's flat. There's people out here that's saying that it's hollow Earth. There's people out here that's saying it's cell Earth, which actually I would think makes a lot of sense. But there's all different. There's Norb theory. There's all different types of theories out here of what the Earth is. And then you got NASA out here fucking putting satellites out and then taking images of a section of the Earth and then literally using CGI to build out that image and put that image out for everybody to think that they know what Earth looks like. And then you go into the ancients. Whew, let's go. So you go into the ancients and you got, Pangea, Argatha, you got inner Earth, outer Earth, you got the map of Antarctica going all around all the continents, and then beyond Antarctica is proclaimed to have paradise-like lands outside of it. I'm sure there's even more. There's probably more hells outside of there too, but there's also like paradise like places outside of Antarctica, and who knows how fucking long that extends. Who knows? That shit could be infinite. The whole galaxy could be one entire plane of existence. It could be one realm. And since the mind is wired to separate things, the mind is literally for separation, and that's not a bad thing, because if you didn't have the mind to logically separate things, you just wouldn't know the difference from you and your glasses. And that could be cool too. I would predict that there's a lot of children that are coming onto the earth that are more in tune with what oneness is, so they would not have as much differentiation as us. But to stay on topic is like, our minds are literally trained to separate this earth from the rest of the galaxy. And who knows, all the galaxy could be one entire plane with just many, many different dimensions. And then, of course, there's also the spiritual, there's the astral, there's the cosmic, there's many different forms of what we would call existence. But it goes infinitely deep, and this is a conversation that I also can't talk about in just one video. But I'm just saying all this to say, like, keep questioning, keep being curious, quit having to be so prideful, egocentrically prideful, like just prideful because you want to stand on something that you don't even know what it is. You don't have to. And that's part of being free. That's part of liberation, is liberating your mind from all the programs, liberating your being from all the conditioning and homogenization that you've experienced through many lifetimes, through your ancestors passed down onto you, and also in the environment from societal conditioning. But that's just a little food for thought. Enjoy.